Hey Moonrays! Welcome back to my Sims 4 channel. Today I have another speed build for you. Of course, like what else would I have at this point? I've never done anything else but a speed build. Well, that's not true. I did do a build with me video one time. I need to do another one of those videos. But anyway, we are working on, I don't know what to call this build, okay? Because it started out as something kind of different from what it ended up being. At first, I tried to build a lake house, I guess. Lake house. It was on the water. I tried to use pools because I had this idea a long time ago. I made a build like this on this exact lot and it turned out fabulous way before I was even good at building. It was just kind of a fluke that it turned out as good as it did. And I really wanted to recreate that particular build, but unfortunately, this did not work out the way that I had hoped. I don't know. This just didn't end up making any sense in my brain. I think before making this channel, I didn't really care if it made sense. It was just like, hey, if it's on the water, cool. I'm cool with that, you know? But this just, I don't know. I got picky about it and I wanted to move it to another lot. So this ended up being a house that I put on water, but not like this. I moved the house onto another lot in this world, which is Windenburg. And instead of trying to use pools to be the water, I ended up making my own pond instead with the terrain tool. And let me tell you, I don't ever want to do that again. I do not like using terrain tools, terrain manipulation. It's just not my thing. I can create dirt paths and things of that nature, but as soon as I start trying to make my own hills and my own ponds, it's not for me. I don't enjoy it. I had way more fun making a lake house out of pools rather than the terrain tools. But I will say that I like how it turned out. The thing is, when I move it, it just has a whole different vibe. I wanted to go for something very coastal, beachy, and then I don't know. It just turned out different when I moved lots. It turned out more swampy to me in my mind. I don't know. As you can tell, I am not 100% happy with this build. I'm very happy with the house itself. I originally just wanted it to have like a houseboat type of vibe, and that's what I wanted. I kept saying lake house. I think it turned into more of a lake house and I wanted it to originally be a houseboat, and it just didn't end up being that. This build would have done really well in Sulani, in my opinion, but I don't have that pack that the world comes with. What pack is that? I don't know. It's the one that comes with mermaids, but I'm just not interested in that pack, to be honest. I don't really care to have mermaids in my game. I'm not really a beachy person, so the build items just don't really do much for me, and it just, you know, aside from the fact that this would have fit into the world, there was no reason why I would want that pack personally, so it just didn't work out. I didn't have a good place to put this, but I still wanted to build a houseboat, so we did anyway, and I am happy with how it turned out on the interior and the exterior. It just would better suit something like Sulani. So if you want to like download this house off of the gallery and place it in Sulani, it would probably look fabulous there, in my opinion. It will need some work because I kind of decorated it to blend in with the world of Windenburg, but I think it would end up looking really nice in the end. But we used a lot of items from Horse Ranch because I think Horse Ranch can look very beachy if it's used the right way. I really like the colors and the distressing. I also used some cats and dogs. That's a good one to use for this type of vibe as well. Other than that, I'm not really sure what I did with this build. I built this one a long time ago. I don't know how so much time has gone by since I last recorded for these videos. The thing is, it's been stupid hot here, and I've talked about this in almost every one of my videos, so I apologize if I'm sounding like a broken record. But I have central air in the first level of my home, and in the second level of my home, it's all window units, and I don't want you guys to have to hear a window unit in the background of my videos because it's very, very loud. Like, you probably wouldn't be able to hear me, or it would be very distracting. So when I'm here filming, I don't turn on any air and it's miserable. Well, I do have my overhead fan on, but that's it. So I am roasting right now. I am literally a baked potato at this point, but that's why I'm in a big light baggy t-shirt. This is actually my zombie Billie Joe Armstrong t-shirt and I love it so much. I know I'm not wearing black today. It is too hot for black. It's very unfortunate, but it's too much. We're in the 90s today, so it is what it is. But I love this t-shirt. Unfortunately, you can't really see much of it, so maybe I'll pop in a picture where you can actually see it better because it is awesome. And I absolutely love Green Day. Have I never talked about my love of Green Day here on this channel? I don't think I have, but Green Day is tied for one of my favorite, no, they're tied as my favorite band of all time. The other band that is my favorite is the Beastie Boys. Why is Posey barking? 1 second. Okay, this build needs to hurry up because Posey is having a full-blown meltdown downstairs. My mom is watching her, but she does not like when I leave the room. Actually, I know I was talking about Green Day, but I want to tell you guys a cute little story that I thought was so funny. So Posey is a little Maltese Pekingese mix. She's just a tiny little thing. She weighs about 7 pounds, but this is what's funny about her. She is so protective of me. She actually one time had a full-blown like meltdown when one of my neighbors dare acknowledge me. She like had a growling fit. Now she's not the kind of dog, well maybe she would. I don't think she would attack unless I told her to. And obviously I wouldn't tell her to attack anybody, especially not my neighbors, but she's very protective of me. She doesn't like when strangers look my way or acknowledge me in any way imaginable. But what was funny is the other day, my dad was in the living room with me and my dog was on the couch and my dad came up and gave me a hug and she gave him the nastiest look ever. And I thought it was so funny because she loves my dad, but she just gets so bent out of shape if anybody even looks at me funny. I love that dog so much. But anyway, so once I'm done with this build, I have to go down and help her not have a meltdown because she's a little bit of a menace, so sometimes she can really disrupt my recordings. But yes, my favorite bands are Green Day and Beastie Boys. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but one of my favorite genres of music is rap, but I'm really into old school rap. So rap from like the 80s to the late 90s or early 2000s. That's like my jam. I don't really care for rap now. Well, I shouldn't say that. I just don't know any. I don't listen to any rap from this era, but I shouldn't say that I don't like it. I love the Beastie Boys and I love Run DMC and just music like that. Even Vanilla Ice. Like I really like Vanilla Ice too. He had a really underrated album that I really liked. I just looked it up. I couldn't remember what the name was, but Mind Blowin'. Oh my god. That was fire. I really liked that album. Vanilla Ice is better than y'all think he is, okay? He's good. But yeah, Green Day, absolutely love. So Saviors came out recently and oh my god, Saviors, it's gotten me through this year, man. Like I absolutely adore that album. The fact that Green Day has been around as long as they have, and I swear, in my opinion, this is their best album. How does that happen? How does a band who have been around for this long and have released so much music still put out like their next best album? That is incredible, in all honesty. Also, I have a huge crush on Billie Joe Armstrong. Unfortunately, he's been married for a very long time now, but I say unfortunately because I would like him to marry me, but that's selfish. I'm glad that he has a happy marriage. Anyway, why I'm getting way off track again, as per usual. But as you can see, we are working on the upstairs now, which is just one room. It's just a bedroom, a nice big bedroom. And I did struggle with it in the beginning, I believe, to really figure out what color scheme I wanted to go for and what items to use. But I believe what I ended up doing was a bed from Cottage Living, and it's super cute. It's one of the green floral ones, a wireframe bed, which I would like to have in real life. I really love wireframe beds. I think they're adorable. Then once I figured out what bed I was going to use, the room came together very quickly, but for me, it's just so hard to get things started. So I always try to go off of a bed or a rug and then work around those colors, but it's usually very hard for me to make the decision on which one to pick, so I go back and forth and agonize over it a lot. However, I think this room turned out to be super adorable, and I would live very happily in this home. It's super cute. I mean, it doesn't totally fit my vibe. Here's the thing, it fits one of my vibes. I feel like I have a lot of different likes and dislikes when it comes to decor. I'm insecure about saying decor now because somebody actually picked on me a little bit in the comments. I had no idea that decor wasn't the way to say decor. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. I googled it and it came up the way that I said it. So I don't know. But now every time I say decor, I'm like, I'm saying it wrong, aren't I? So I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I guess it's just an accent thing. I don't know. But I love so many different styles in real life, and especially when it comes to homes. Like, of course, I love the gothic type vibe, but I also always say that my ideal home would be decorated as like a gothic farmhouse. So I really like country vibes as well. And I've also been super into green lately. I don't know if that's just because I've been playing so much of The Sims. Maybe that's why green has been growing on me, because it's never really been a favorite color of mine, but also just the shade of green that's usually in this game is beautiful. I feel like everybody talks about Lil Simsy and the blue Suburban. I feel like that's me, but with green. I cannot stop using green because the only good swatches in this game are green and blue. Like, that's it. If you look for any other swatch, they're all weird, but the green and blue swatches are beautiful. So hats off to the Sims team for being able to make that color work well. Like, I love pink. Their pink isn't good in this game. I don't like their pink wallpapers at all. I'm so matchy-matchy in this game, it's ridiculous. I've been trying really hard to not match my exteriors to my interiors because I don't think that's super realistic in real life, but for whatever reason, I just have to do it. I don't know why. It just has to be that way. I'm trying desperately to branch out and do different things, but I don't know, that's just how my brain works. The exterior needs to match the interior. That's dumb. But I just have so much trouble not doing that in this game because, you know, when you move in, your house is going to be an entirely different color because you didn't pick the exterior color. I mean, some people might repaint the house if you have the money for that, but if you don't have a whole bunch of money, you're probably going to repaint the interior before you would work on the exterior if you had a choice of one or the other. And so the exterior is not going to match with what you picked on the inside. Oh, I also forgot to tell you guys, I decided that a fishing lady lives here. I fish a lot when I actually play the game, which isn't very often, but when I play the game, I always do rags to riches, and I fish a lot to make money, okay? So I was like, you know what? Let's make this lady a fisherman, a fisher person. That doesn't sound right, but I would prefer to call them that anyway. So I decided that this pretty little place was going to be for a lady who loves to fish. So I put a couple of fishing items that I never ever use around the place just for something different. I don't think I've ever made a house for a fisherman before. I should try to do that because that wasn't the original intention. That wasn't what I set out to do. Again, this was very much meant to be a boathouse. A boathouse? A houseboat. Oh my goodness. The coffee is kicking in. So my mouth, look, we all know. I don't know why I have to point it out because you guys know. You guys know how my brain works. You guys know that my mouth can't keep up with how fast my brain works. So I don't know why I have to point it out every single time. That's just how it is. That's what you guys are here for. But I'm almost finished this International Delight iced coffee. It's the Reese's flavor, and it's really good. I like it a lot, and it actually kind of perks me up, which coffee doesn't always do that for me anymore. Usually it just makes me feel somewhat alive. But this actually is making me feel a little bit energetic today, which I am thankful to God for. I need energy, no joke. So I hope that when I edit this video back that everything makes sense because I don't really know what I'm talking about right now. I'm just babbling, trying to get through the hot day. I have nothing to talk about either. There's nothing going on in my life right now. Well, that isn't true. There's one thing going on in my life right now, but I can't talk about it. It has nothing to do with the channel, to be perfectly honest. It is something that I want to do for my birthday. If you're in the Discord, you probably already know what it is, but I can't talk about it on here quite yet. I probably can't talk about it until I've done it, but I gotta keep it a secret for now. But anyway, we have moved lots finally, and you can see my struggle trying to make a little bit of a pond. It was not easy. It was not easy. I had a miserable time of it. But once we start getting it landscaped and blending it in with the world around us, it starts to work. I think it turned out okay. Again, it's just not a very beachy vibe anymore, which we are by a beach, but it just doesn't, it's because of how the surroundings are. It's very like woodsy, and it just wasn't what I was going for originally. So of course I'm not going to be 100% satisfied with it because it just wasn't my original plan. But that doesn't mean it's not good. I think it still turned out pretty cool. I like the roofing of this house a lot. I thought that was really fun. And I just enjoy landscaping. Even if my landscaping isn't particularly good, I still just really love working with all of these items, especially from debug, and just trying to make it look like it belongs in the world that I've placed it in and on the lot that it's on. It's just so much fun. I really enjoy that. So that was kind of neat to do with the ponds for once. So that was kind of neat to do with the terrain/water tool. It was really fun to cover up all of the edges and make it look like it was actually a part of nature. Plus I like how you can see the stilts down in the water. That is such a cool thing. I love the stilt foundation. I think it's so fun to use for tiny homes and more unique builds like these. I love it. I love it so much. I don't talk enough about what I love in The Sims. I talk about what I don't like, but that foundation, when they added that to the game, I was so beyond happy. I was really close to changing the color of the water. Did I? No, I think I kept it the way that it was, but I was thinking about making it a little more murky than it was originally. But realistically, if I lived on this lot and I lived in this little home, I would want to look out and see really beautiful crystal clear water, not murky swamp water. And I used this debug fencing around the entire deck because just thinking about it, I was like, I don't really like the way that the fencing looks around the entire deck, but I wouldn't want to not have fencing placed around it if I lived there, because I would fall. Absolutely 100%. I would slip and fall into that water, so I would need it if I lived there. I try to take a very realistic approach when I'm making these builds. I try to think about it very logically. But we are coming up on the screenshots now, you guys, so thank you all so much for watching this video. I am so sorry if I was a little bit hyper today, if I was a little bit too much. I'm super hot right now and just trying my absolute best to keep myself distracted, keep my mind off the heat. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, and if you're new around here, subscribe to become a member of the Moon Rays. We would absolutely love to have you here. But with all that said, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Bye, guys.